You're watching Alaska's news source.
And good evening tonight. For the first time, we are hearing from the brother of the man shot and killed by Anchorage police. He wants police body camera footage released. John Thompson tells us live outside of police headquarters, an assembly member saying let that process play out.
All right, Rebecca, yes. So while Handy's family and friends, they're demanding transparency and release of the footage, Anchorage Assembly member Zach Johnson believes it's still too early to tell whether or not APD has mishandled this investigation.
I think it's too early to say really conclusively whether or not they have or haven't handled it responsibly. I don't have reason to think that they're not, right? But this is a very involved process, and we want that when we have an officer-involved shooting.
That perspective from Assemblyman Zach Johnson, the former Marine and state trooper well-versed in law enforcement, says that he's waiting to see what happens after police shot and killed Chris Handy outside his Sand Lake apartment. Handy's fiance says police were called because the 34-year-old was in a mental health crisis. Johnson calls these investigations complex.
They're treated like a homicide investigation. So, you're talking about dozens, maybe hundreds of pieces of evidence they have to gather, lots of interviews. It's a very thorough process. If you ever talk to an officer who's worked a case or any sort of homicide investigation, they're incredibly complex by their very nature.
Johnson is hesitant to demand APD body camera footage be released, but family and friends of Chris Handy are demanding it after a neighbor's home security footage shared with Alaska's news source appears to show the gun he was carrying was pointed at the ground at the time shots rang out. At least 10 shots can be heard on the video as Handy falls to the ground, motionless.
Well, the Anchorage Police Department has changed their narrative of what happened after a video started circulating on the internet. They don't believe that the video tells the entire story. But you know what? They have 6 other videos, 4 body cameras, and 2 dash cameras with different angles of what transpired that night.
Chris's brother Travis is organizing a rally downtown on Saturday in hopes of convincing police to release the footage.
Footage won't be available immediately.
Policy allows Chief Bianca Cross to release the footage, but she says she will not do that until APD's investigation concludes.
There was some initial information put forth, right? And we found later with a review of some footage that maybe those weren't the exact circumstances. But I think that speaks to sort of the underlying tension between the need to get information out quickly, but also takes the steps to make sure that information is correct.
So for now, the community continues to watch as the process plays out. Johnson says he'd like to see the footage released sooner than later.
If you're an officer, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, the only thing that body cam is going to do is back you up.
Now, I've posted an extended quote from Travis, the brother of Handy. You can find that right now at alaskasnewssource.com. We're here in front of Anchorage Police Headquarters because the march this weekend, it's going to start down on the Park Strip and end right here. Starts at 2 o'clock on Saturday. John Thompson, Alaska's News Source.